Hospital. 5, 3, 2, 1. Live from New York, from Long Island, New York. It's again Love, Death, and Taxes. Hi, Agnes. I'm Ryan Neal Williams. We are happy to have a great guest this week, a gentleman who we enjoy talking to all the time, separate and apart from this actual show. Hi, Howie. How are you doing?
How are you, Ryan? I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Howie, so good to see you. So good to have you.
God bless. It's good to see you.
Right.
Really do.
We're definitely going to be talking about unexpected seasonal intruders because Howie is a specialist in that. But just before we get started, let's let people know exactly where they are. Welcome again to the Love, Death, and Taxes podcast. We are live on YouTube. You'll be able to get this on Facebook and on LinkedIn. If you're checking us out, you should see us also on the Google Podcasts. Basically, anywhere you need to hear podcasts or can hear podcasts, that's where you're here. And again, our special guest today, is Howie Ryder of All Ways Pest Control. Oh, all right. How you doing? Good. All right. So it's the time of year to talk about this kind of thing, right? I mean, there are a different kind of pests that you have this time of year than you would normally have every other time of the year, right, Howie?
Absolutely. Yeah. The most important pest is the mouse and the rats that are trying to come into your house. Yeah.
And you definitely don't want it. Now,
the
go ahead, Agnes, you were going to ask.
The unexpected guests, I always say they don't pay rent. They have no right to live in my house. So it's a big no-no.
That's true. No, I try to collect rent. They don't.
But they won't pay. They're definitely not paying in money. All right.
Right.
Maybe in aggravation, maybe in sleepless nights, but they're definitely not paying in cash.
Right.
Why do they come out? Go ahead.
People don't understand that they also carry viruses. So if you have a mouse, you could have 50 mice, and that virus is the hunter virus that can make you very sick by breathing in. So, people like, oh, these poor little creatures, I love them so much, so they live with them. But
no good. So what's the hunter virus? How sick does that make you? I know about the bubonic plague. That was something that used to be carried by rats. That was something that carried by rodents, right? But the hunter virus, what is that?
Hunter virus is it's a bad virus. You get it. It's more of a respiratory virus, and it will kill you. I mean, if you're in a house with millions of fecal matter all around you, and you're breathing that in, that's all you're breathing in, especially on a cold day. That's going to cause a big respiratory problem for you, and might kill you.
So that's the major thing. Like they're leaving the droppings, and then you're smelling it, and don't even realize that you're smelling it, and it becomes a problem.
Right.
Why? Other than the cold, is there another reason? It really doesn't need to be another reason. But other than the cold, is there another reason why rodents come in to the house like during the winter time? Because we're here. Okay.
They're coming in for your pizza, Ryan, that you love, with the pepperoni. Agnes, they're coming in for your what do they call in Russia? The Pinot.
In Poland, it's cold. Yeah, it's cold as here right now. They have early spring, but especially I do remember starting disliking all those rodents when I was visiting my grandma's farm. That was everything and anything there. I always say that in Long Island we live like in a little villages, and I heard that almost everyone has pets, right? Especially when you have cats, don't you kind of attract all those little things that they come in because the cats will be bringing them in?
Yeah. Yeah, unless of course that
Oh,
cat is a mouser, which will chase the rodents away. But
Yeah.
most cats just let them and they play with them and they don't care.
oh,
Yeah, I've seen that. I've so seen
that's
that.
horrible.
I've seen it.
You know what I
Like,
have noticed in Long Island? On those beautiful, yeah, those beautiful summer evenings. You sit in a backyard, and I um enjoy to a certain extent, to a certain time, until actually I met you. uh those beautiful sounds of crickets chirping. I was so naive. I always imagined that I was like a little cricket, the green crickets, playing violin. And I'm thinking, oh, this is so nice and romantic, the playing, until I saw what actually makes that
Yeah,
noise. I think Long Island is infested with spider crickets,
right.
right?
Those a lot of people look at them and they think, oh boy, I got an alien in the house. Is they're kind of ugly looking, really.
Horrible.
it's not the thing that you romanticized about. It's not Jimmy Cricket telling you about your he's not sitting on your shoulder and telling you about he's being your conscience, be your guide. It's not that guy. It's more like a big black four-legged spider or six-legged spider with big and oh my gosh, if they get inside of the wall and start making a sound, there it's like you can't sleep. It sounds like when the battery in your fire alarm is going out and every 15 minutes it goes beep, beep. That's what it sounds like. But it can be louder, right, Howie? Do you get a lot of calls for that, those crickets?
Absolutely. Yeah, a lot of people have a lot of problems with the crickets. Some people just live with the crickets. They just put down blue boards and they think that this is going to solve the problem, which it is not. You need a chemical base to get rid of these things. And again, people don't want to kill these little hoppy things. They think they're Jimmy the Cricket.
Try to be friendly. And I do get that. Listen, I understand that. But it's sort of
But
a
they
nuisance.
also cause a lot of harm.
Most of the harm is people are disgusted by it. Second, you don't want something hopping around your house. They don't cause harm as far as structural harm. It's more the noise and the nuisance of it, really.
Actually, I read that because they don't bite, they chew.
They chew
If they have nothing else to chew, they will chew your clothes, or they can chew on the wood or a concrete. So that's what I read.
Yeah, well, yeah, if they have nothing else, sure. Most of the time, they got some type of a food that they're going in. And also the fact they're coming in from the weather, too. So
they're also so you said chemical before, but I know from my experience is there are many ways to do these things and take care of these things, these animals, that is one, less chemically and less harmful to humans and or pests. How do you get rid of, say, an infestation of either mice or crickets without it being like an issue?
Well, what we do is there's locked mice where you put your poison, your mice poison in the box with a key, and you put it in places, of course, where there's no children or pets or anything that's going to get to it. And as the mice go into the stations, they feed on it and they take it back to the nest and they feed their friends with it. With the crickets, it's more of a pellet. So the pellets are being spread around cracks and crevices around your house. They feed on the pellets and they die off. And that's basically how you control it. But you also have to do it on the outside too, or else it's going to be effective.
I mean, clearly they're getting in somehow, right? So it's like, how are they getting in? And you just have to figure out how to make sure that they don't come in on you and whatever. You know what I didn't do? I didn't ask you about how you got into it. I didn't ask you about your family, because I actually know that this is not a yesterday thing for you, that your business has been around for quite some time. Howie, tell me about your journey into pest control and extermination.
Sure. My father was piper years ago in I'm kidding. No. My father and he started in a pest control company. At that point, as I grew up, I always saw him doing the exterminating. I enjoyed it. He got into his own thing doing the exterminating, pest control. I joined him with that. I started to enjoy that business, just the fact of meeting people and helping people. And basically, that's how I got into the business from my father, really. And now my son is
now your son does too.
Yeah. He's a little buggy, but hey.
He's a little buggy. You're a big buggy. He's a little buggy. It gets done, right? Killing me. All right. So, by the way, people, this is Howie all the time. Okay. So you've been around since I think before I was born, since 1972, 73.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just made it.
The business, let's be nice. The business was from the time before you were born.
Right. Okay. So but lots of experience then. And also it's a family business.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's great.
My wife.
All right.
It's a whole big family. You know.
Now, let's talk about property values. I know you actually have to go in and do, when I was purchasing my house, I know I had to do inspections, multiple inspections when they were trying to come in to talk to me about, what bugs were there or what was not there. I know termites are always a major issue. How does making sure that you get a good inspection assist in the value of the home?
Well, a lot of engineers will tell you what's happening with the house as far as the water and the roof and so on and so forth. Most of them do not have certification in termite. Okay, it's a category that we take. And just like a doctor who gets credits in certain things, also the pest control operators need to get credits every year. So when you go into a house, you have to check for termite damage. And you want that when you're going to buy a house, especially if it's $1 million home today. And so you're going to check these different beams and you're going to poke these beams and see if they're going to go through. And there's also signs to look for to see whether or not that house has termites or not. A lot of times there's finished areas where you can't see. And that says it on the report. I can't see this because I can't see through the wall. But definitely somebody who's going to purchase a home definitely wants to do a proper termite inspection and not have just an engineer do it. Yeah.
Okay. Because you'll look for different signs.
Yeah, I think it's self-protection at this point, especially when you observe wherever you're going, like we mentioned before, owning pets, it attracts other creatures. So, and practically each and every one of us have somebody at home. So it's a self-protection at this point.
Correct. Absolutely.
Right, Ryan?
Definitely. Yeah, absolutely. You definitely got to buy it if you're buying your own home. But then also, if you're a person who owns a rental property or say apartment building, or especially if you have a business, then you also need to double check and make sure you're okay. Because not only you're responsible now for yourself, if you're in that space, but then you're also responsible for maybe goods and certain goods that you might have be storing in there. I would hate to go into a place and then, there's a bunch of rats eating whatever it is that I've got. But then also the people, if you have a rental property and you have an apartment and lots of people living in there, you got to make sure. So what about a regular, do you get like a regular call from certain people? Like we just come and spray and checking in like once a month or every 3 months or something like that?
Oh, sure. You get people who want, I just want to be sure I don't want to have anything in the house. Just do me a favor, come to the house and do a crack and crevice treatment around the house, inside and out, and I don't want to have any problems at all. That's maintenance on the house. But then you have people who have bed bugs in the house, but bed bugs is a totally different animal altogether. Yeah.
Very different thing. Listen, I watched what was it, Breaking Bad, and forget the fact that they were criminals and they were breaking into houses to do something completely different. But they put a huge tent over the entire house and then pumped some air into it to do the treatment. I think it was a bed bug treatment. Is that what you end up having to do? I mean, do you have to send?
Not around here, Ryan. We don't do that, and it's not air. It's another type of insecticide that you put into the house. They have heat treatments, which you actually heat the house at a certain degree of, like, let's say 320 degrees. I'm just saying off the top of my head, but that kills the insects. They have insecticides that kill the insects, but it's a whole big job. I mean, the bed bugs go into every little crack and crevice of the house. So you have to get all your clothes and dry clean, heated. And then we come in there and we just, everything has done, crack crevice treatment. It's a big job.
That's a big job. Is it also a huge nuisance? I know someone who had to throw away, I don't know if they had to throw away, but they chose to throw away almost all of their furniture and clothing. I was like, what are you doing? And she was like, it was everywhere. This stuff was everywhere, and we weren't even sure where it wasn't. Right? Does that make sense? Like, you can lose a bunch of property because of that.
Oh, sure.
I don't think that anyone would like to take a chance.
Right. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people, they don't know that they're in the seams of their mattress. Especially you go to a hotel, and this is how people get the bed bugs, and they get into the suitcase and they bring it home, and then all of a sudden mattress, and they get into the seams of the mattress, and all of a sudden you're getting bit. Now this is your bed bugs.
Agnes is feeling it right now. She's like,
yeah, sorry for everyone.
Yeah. Actually, I just saw some little. Yeah, I saw a little video with advice that if you're going to the hotel when you're traveling, the first thing you should do to take your suitcases to put it in a bathtub or a shower, and then check your mattress in the crevices if there are any bed bugs or not, because apparently showers and the tubs are cleaned the most.
Exactly. Yeah. Right.
Often.
That's a great idea.
Your possessions first. Yeah.
That's a great idea.
To check and then go on.
And I personally, what I do is I live out of the suitcase. Again, you put your clothes into the cabinets. They already have bed bugs.
Yes.
Now, and then hotels aren't going to see bed bugs.
So, it's difficult to do that. Most of the time, depending if you're staying for a long stay, then you want to pack out and everything. But quite frankly, it makes more sense to just stay in your suitcase. Although, who knows? But
they want to check with a flashlight all the cabinets if you're going to put those clothes in. Yeah, it's a nightmare. It really is for people, and it's costly. Yeah.
It costs a lot of money too. Okay, right? Yeah, because now you're throwing away your clothing, you're throwing away furniture. You have to go get a new mattress. You've got to go get a new this or new that, right? Right, and then the constant worrying about the whole thing. I mean, it sounds like a nightmare. But then it sounds like something that could stay with you for a long time, right? Like you'd be nervous.
Too. Yeah, people after bed bugs, they get deathly afraid of things. It's because it is a nightmare. It really is.
Yeah. What about how about pets? Is there, because I know some dogs go out, they come back in, cats too, fleas and or ticks or whatever not. How do you deal with something like that? Or what advice would you give someone who's got a dog, who's got it, and they're just They're scared because their dog is going out and having fun.
Oh, this is how they get fleas in the house. I mean, most definitely. I mean, number one, the vets usually give them a pill to take, and once a month they take the pill to counteract the fleas. But if that's not the case, they go out and they get the fleas on them. They bring them in, and once you have a flea problem, again, all the house has to be crack and crevice and sprayed. All your furniture, all your flooring and rugs, and so on and so forth.
Yeah,
another night in itself. And the preventatively is to actually spray the yard with a spray. So now you have a residual in the yard, which is not going to affect the dog.
Okay.
But this is one ways to help the problem.
Okay. Right.
Now, if I may,
You may.
Change the subject a little bit.
Sure.
Thank you. Since I met you, Howie, you are extremely nice and a funny man, but you are very professional. You help people with the back problem, but not only me, but I have to say I met few people that you became a role model to.
Really?
Yes. And I'm talking about you and your wife. I had a pleasure to observe you with your lovely wife on a few occasions, and the way you are together, I must say that you are really, it's a pleasure to look at.
That's not.
The way you are, because you have been married for how many years now?
Oh, well, about 45 now.
Yes. Not too many people can say that they have been married that long. And it's just the two of you.
Yeah. Thank you.
The respect, the love, the admiration for each other, it's so visible to everyone who meet the two of you together. It's I'm just, when I grow up, I want to be like you two.
That's so nice.
No, you really are. Your wife is.
Truth is, Agnes, she puts me in the barn. So that's why we've been married so long.
I'm sure. Yes. She's a lovely lady. I mean, the loveliest that they can be. And the two are just so cute together. It's amazing. It's really amazing.
Yeah.
So now we can go back to backs if you guys want.
What's the secret, Howie? What's the secret for our love people who love on the show? What's the secret? How do you do that for 45 years?
It is, Ryan. Yes to everything. As a man, you say yes.
Okay.
You want to do that?
Yes, dear. That's the secret, right? Yes, dear.
Yes, dear. Anything you want, dear. God bless you. Yes, dear. And if you,
I will.
You know what? Talk about the earwigs.
You want to talk about the earwigs? He's like, I don't want to talk about more. I don't want to coming out here complaining about it. We'll get back to your earwigs. I will say this: I saw you dancing at the park, and I feel as though you guys have a synergy, like you get things done together. She helps you work in the business too, doesn't she?
She does, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Big help.
Okay. See, so exactly. So maybe it's like an involvement. I saw you dancing, and I was like, those two people are very much in tune with one another, because, ladies and gentlemen, you would not listen. First of all, both of them can dance. That's number one. But they dance together really, really well. And I was very impressed about that. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes. and I think we've actually spoken about this before, Agnes, about, yes, I was like, oh, I want to grow up and be like those two. That's very, very fun. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. You're embarrassing me. But
I'll leave you alone now. Let's talk about your earwigs now, okay? Now, earwigs are those little. those ones with the funky little pincers. Yeah,
Right.
and then they've got those strips. And you normally see them in
wigs.
No, in like your
ear wigs. Remember when they had the wigs on to do the tradition?
Is that real?
Ear wigs. Take them off. They got ear wigs. Ears.
I know you see them like in damp sections of the house, like damp sections. Sometimes like a basement bathroom or somewhere like that. That's where I used to remember seeing.
Right. Yeah, you wouldn't see them at all because you don't have a wig, so it wouldn't be.
No.
I love you the way you are. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Exactly. How you get rid of them? What do you do?
It's a similar situation like the crickets and so on and so forth. It's crack and crevice treatment and putting, getting them where they hide, like roaches. And sorry, Agnes, I hate to be disgusting, but that's what I do.
Yeah.
They gave me just creeps.
I understand perfectly. The roaches.
Well, we wanted you on because yes, there is that connection to like basically taking things out. You're taking them out. You're the Charles Bronson of bugs and rodents, right? So you're going out there and you're taking them out. And you actually showed me at one point a raccoon trap too. So it's not just these tiny things. It's not just these, troublesome things that are in your house, but sometimes they're outside your house making trouble too, right?
The raccoons are a big problem with people getting in the house, because they cause a lot of damage first off getting in the house. Mm-hmm. And then once they're in, now you have to trap them, and trapping them, usually you're trapping them outside. And then you got to take them, and you have to, sorry to say, you have to kill them because they are causing a nuisance, and that's by law you have to kill them. Because they can cause rabies, so on and so forth.
I have a raccoon story. I decided I put a little bird feeder outside for my grandchildren. I thought that sparked their interest. Mm-hmm. But then I noticed the squirrels coming, start eating that.
Correct. Yeah.
Something. They're so cute. I bought it looked like a corn on a cob, something for squirrels, right? And there is one lovely evening around maybe 10 p.m. I'm walking outside, summertime, taking garbage out. What am I seeing? A raccoon sitting right by my barbecue, eating that thing for like corn on a cob that was, for squirrels. And then he gives me the look like, what you looking at?
You gave me the corn, right?
Hey. They're like, and he's looking at me like, huh? Yeah, you left it. I'm eating it. It's like, so what's the problem? I swear, I got scared, put very quickly the garbage away, ran back home, and he sat there, not disturbed at all by my presence, finished eating, turning around, and I swear, I got the look from him like, what you looking at? Like, very this brazen. Is so normal.
Yeah, very brazen.
Our raccoons, I see, what I see a lot on Long Island? 3 big things. I see raccoons, opossum, and deer. Whoa, I used to see fox too because I lived in Babylon. Foxes, we'd see foxes and little rabbits, hares or rabbits used to live in the area too. Mm-hmm. The hare weren't so much of a problem. It was more like they ran really quickly. You see them in the mornings. They're coming out for, whatever, tubers they could find or whatever. Right. But the possum, almost always, the possum and the raccoons are trying to tip over your garbage and go through it. And then sometimes you'll wake up and just see a possum like laying in the driveway, and you're like, "What's going on?" You get into your car and you go look around, and it's gone because it was actually playing possum.
Yeah.
How many are is that like a major issue here? And it's just because it's Long Island. I don't think a lot of people realize I think we've kind of parked ourselves on top of this lush area that should be like grassland and whatever, and a forest. But instead we live on top of it as humans and we get this trouble. So is that
yeah, you don't really see possums in the city because there's really no nothing. They can't hide anywhere because they love that, like you say, that moist area under decks and things like that. Yeah, but yeah, possums is a problem, absolutely too. And again, because they hide underneath the decks and they cause holes in the ground and so on. But again, you have to live trap them, kill them, and get rid of them. But possums are not really they're ugly to look at, but actually they're not really a nuisance, except they go into your garbage and things like that. But it's more
Are they dangerous?
They're dangerous to a point. If you trap them and you go and you try to pet them, they're going to snap at you.
Yeah.
Are they on the outside? No. They're going to walk away from you more so than because if I trap them, okay, and I let them loose in the woods,
okay,
they're not coming after me. They just mosey on off into the woods. Where a raccoon, he might turn around and attack. It all depends on the animal and if he's sick. That's a problem.
Wow. Okay. Wow. So you're out here dealing with life and death, as just like this show. Okay. So you are dealing with life and death. So how do you feel about that, Howie? I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you've been doing it for many years, so I guess you have to do it. But do you ever feel like, okay, here I have this creature in my sights. I got to take care of it.
Do I feel sorry about it? Yes, I do, actually. You know what I feel sorry about? Because once you kill the mother or the father, now you're dealing with the babies. And it's a shame, but those babies now have to die also. Call somebody to rescue them. There that are going to do and want to do. So, but there are employees that I have that would keep one or two and bring them home, and they raise them until they get really big, and then of course they just have to let them loose. But
okay. Are you kidding me?
No, there's been an employee too that says, "Oh, the squirrel, let me keep him." Yeah.
Okay. And then release him. I can see a squirrel, but I don't know if I'd keep a raccoon.
A squirrel?
A raccoon?
Stretch your eyes out.
A squirrel as a baby, though, Agnes, is nothing. And to raise them, they get, they like
domesticated,
harm you, But then after a while, and again, they're wild, so of course they run around the house like crazy, and you gotta just let them loose. I mean, at that point,
at a certain point, their natural instinct will take over.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah,
that's what I would think. That at some point they would actually decide that they want to come after you.
Right. And python that I keep, that's gotten very big now. He's just crawls around the house. My wife, bothers her, but
he's messing with you.
No,
ladies and
you're
gentlemen,
kidding. You're kidding, right? Oh my God.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't believe it. Because I actually have a friend who has 3 snakes, and they are pythons, but he keeps them in the and I'm like, where are the, before I go to his house, I'll say, where are the snakes? Because I'm not going there. But he will take them out and wrap them around his hand, but for the most part he keeps them in the glass things. And no, they're not allowed to walk around. I'm like, what are you? It's like, oh, it's not nothing. The weirdest part to me is that he has to drive out to West Islip to buy rodents to then put into the cage to feed them, because Agnes is like, no.
This is not a podcast you wanted, right?
Listen,
I interview Howie.
That's a silent killer. That's a silent killer. I would never sleep in a house where that will be any type of a snake. Doesn't matter, python or anything else. That's a silent killer. No way.
I mean, yeah, and they're not big, but I would assume no matter what, they have to wrap around you, right? I've heard stories of
With
this
pythons,
girl. Yeah,
they're very
that's what they
dangerous.
do. Yeah, I would think so. I heard a story of this girl. She was like, she used to sleep with her python, and then she says that it wasn't eating for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and the
Wow.
doctors are saying, "Oh, it was getting ready to eat you," and that was
Uh,
what was going on because it was preparing itself like a space.
you know, some
In
interesting.
itself.
I tell you.
No. This is internet. This is not. This is not people I know. This one's not people I know. But the other guy, yes, the other guy has 3 separate. Yeah, mad. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you so very much to Howie for coming in and hanging out with us. Howie is from All Ways Exterminating. You check it out, alwaysexterminating.com. If you are looking for someone in the Long Island area, he's in Lynbrook, but he goes all over, mainly Nassau, Queens, and even a little into Suffolk. You come check him out, and then you can go and get your house taken care of. Or if you're just looking for someone to regularly give you a little spritzy that is eco-conservative, that will work out for you, you definitely want to check it out. Howie, you want to give him a number? What's that phone number again?
516-599-7674.
All right.
Thank you very much, guys, for having me on.
You're very welcome. We Agnes has been saying, "Hey, you want to invite Howard?" For a while. It's not yesterday. She's actually been saying. I was like, "Oh, I don't know whether or not he'd be interested," and then I did, and he was like, "Yeah."
Great lady. Thank
you.
Right.
Yeah, she is great. Look at this. This person's Bonnie Stieglitz says, "My friend in high school had a pet boa constrictor. I spent some time with him. I was a kid. I wasn't aware it was dangerous or not. He was well fed." Yeah. Let's keep him well fed.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Thank you, Bonnie. Yeah. Thank you so much. But yeah, that's wild. Have you ever had to chase after a snake, Howie? Like you have to go after pythons? Like someone lets go their python in the area?
No.
Okay, you're good.
No, anybody calls me for a python, I say no. I'm sorry. Anybody else? Go for
call the zoo. Call the zoo.
I don't know. Well, Ryan, like
or me. Bonnie thinks that's funny. LOL. But yeah, ladies and gents, this is Love, Death, and Taxes. If you are looking for if you have something you'd like to tell us about, you are going to look for getting all crazy today. Here we go. You're sending us a topic, or you'd like to comment. You can do that either live on the show, like Bonnie just did, or you can send us email at mailbag@lovedeathandtaxes.com. If you are looking for tax resolution issues, you have a business and you have not paid your taxes in a little while, and you're going to have an issue, you're going to check out NY Tax Resolution there, because that's where you're going to go get some help from Agnes, right? And I'm Ryan Williams. I'm hoping to help you with your digital marketing. Thank you so very much again to our guest, Howie Ryder. I don't leave you with the last word, Agnes. Anything?
Missed you, Howie. Good to see you. And say hi to Patty.
God bless you, Agnes. God bless you, Ryan.
All right, bye-bye. You guys take care. All right. That's it.